If people keep telling you that you're too much, pay attention, because in that moment, they just told you more about themselves than they ever told you about you. Here is the truth no one explained to you. Too much is not a flaw, it is a translation error, the exact same trait one person calls intimidating, another person calls inspiring. The same honesty one person calls harsh, another person calls refreshing. Nothing about you changes, only the translation does. So before you shrink 1 more inch to fit a room that was never built for you, let me show you how to find the rooms where you were never too much in the first place. Most women spend years trying to become less of themselves, less emotional, less intense, less opinionated, less honest, because somewhere along the way, someone convinced you that who you are is something to apologize for. So you start editing. You soften your laugh so it does not fill the room. You filter every thought 3 times before it leaves your mouth. You shrink your dreams down to a size other people can be comfortable with. You try to become easier to digest, more convenient, more acceptable. And here is what nobody warns you about. The smaller you become, the less alive you feel. Every time you edit yourself to keep the peace, you lose a little more contact with the person you actually are. And the worst part is what it costs you over time. You stop raising your hand. You stop sharing the idea. You start choosing the version of your life that draws the least criticism instead of the one that actually feels like yours. Because you can only translate yourself into someone you are not for so long before you forget the original language you were born speaking. Let me tell you about a woman named Maya. For years, Maya apologized for everything. She apologized for speaking too passionately in meetings. She apologized for asking too many questions. She apologized for caring too deeply, for wanting too much, for feeling things at a volume other people seemed to live without. She had been told her whole life that she was a lot, so she spent her 20s trying to become a little less. She learned to wait until someone else spoke first. She learned to end her sentences quietly, almost like a question, so no one would feel challenged. She practiced being agreeable in rooms where she was actually the smartest person there. I want you to really picture this. A woman sitting in a meeting with the right answer already in her head and choosing to say nothing because being right felt more dangerous than being liked. She did that for years. And the quieter she got, the emptier she felt. She was praised for being easy to be around, and she had never felt more invisible in her life. Then 1 year, everything around her changed. New city, new job, new people, and those new people did something strange. They did not flinch when she spoke passionately. They leaned in. They did not sigh when she asked questions. They said, "Finally, someone who actually thinks about this." The exact same things that made her too much in one world made her unforgettable in the next. Maya did not become a different person. She did not fix herself. She just finally found people who spoke her language. And maybe you have already lived a smaller version of this. One room calls you difficult. Another room calls you authentic. One relationship tells you that you are too emotional. Another tells you that you are the first person who ever truly understood them. Same exact you. 2 completely different translations. And one day, it finally clicks. The things you were told were too much are the same things that make certain people lean in and stay. You say something raw, and instead of pulling away, they say, "Me too." You feel something deeply, and instead of telling you to calm down, they meet you right there in it. Nothing about you changed, only the audience changed. You were never too much, you were simply untranslated. And this is not just a nice idea to feel good about. There is real psychology underneath it. We slowly become who we think we are, and we think we are whatever the people around us keep reflecting back to us. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it reflected appraisal. We learn who we are by absorbing how other people react to us. But here's the part that changes everything. Other people are not honest mirrors, they are translators, and some translators are terrible at their job. A person who is threatened by confidence will translate it as arrogance. A person who is uncomfortable with emotion will translate it as weakness. A person who is afraid of ambition will translate it as unrealistic. What they are describing is not you. It is them. It is their fear, their limits, their discomfort wearing your name. And once you understand that, you can never unsee it. Every label someone tries to put on you suddenly says more about where they are standing than about who you are. Think for a moment about how many decisions you have made, just to avoid being called a word that was never even accurate. How many times you stayed quiet to avoid being called dramatic? How many times you said yes to avoid being called difficult? Now think about the people you have admired most in your own life. Chances are, not a single one of them was easy to ignore. The very thing that made them magnetic was often the same thing that once made them hard for the world to understand. Lady Gaga was told she was too strange to ever go mainstream. The exact thing she was told to hide became the exact thing millions of people fell in love with. The trait never changed, only the room did. So here's how you stop living inside someone else's bad translation. Ask yourself 3 questions. Question 1, where do I feel the strongest urge to edit myself, not improve edit? There is a difference. Growth makes you more yourself. Editing makes you less. If a room only feels safe when you delete half of who you are, that is not your room. Question 2, who actually benefits when I become smaller? Be honest here. Sometimes people are not trying to help you grow. They are trying to make themselves more comfortable. Your shrinking is not your healing. It is their convenience. And the moment you see that clearly, you stop handing them the scissors. Question 3, where am I already appreciated exactly as I am? It might be one friend, one conversation, one single corner of your life where you exhale and stop performing. Pay attention to that corner, because that is what accurate translation feels like. That is your evidence that the problem was never you. You do not need universal approval. You only need accurate translation. The same boundary one person reads as cold, another person reads as self-respect. The same passion one person calls too much, another person calls leadership. The behavior never changes. Only the story attached to it does. And you get to choose whose story you live inside. So here's what I want you to do this week. The very next time you feel that old urge to soften yourself, to filter, to make yourself smaller so a room stays comfortable, stop and ask one single question. Am I actually too much here, or am I just untranslated? And then I want you to tell me something in the comments. Not a small thing, a real one. What is something you have spent years apologizing for, that you are only now starting to believe might be your greatest strength? Write it down, say it out loud, because the moment you can name it, you stop letting other people translate it for you. So remember this. A flower does not become wrong when it is planted in the wrong soil. It does not need to become a smaller, quieter, more acceptable flower. It simply needs different ground. You were never broken. You were never excessive. You were never too much. You were simply untranslated. And here's the part that stings. Sometimes the people who misunderstand you the most are the people you have spent years trying hardest to impress. So stop shrinking yourself to fit old translations written by people who never spoke your language in the first place. You do not owe any room an edited version of you. You owe yourself the unedited one.